Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael McCain, Executive Chair of Maple Leaf Foods, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our 2024 annual meeting of shareholders. As we get things started, I will act as chair for the meeting, and Suzanne Hathaway, our Senior Vice President, General Counsel, will act as secretary. Also joining me on stage today is Curtis Frank, Maple Leaf Foods President and Chief Executive Officer, and one of my fellow directors, who you will be hearing from very shortly. It's hard to believe that this is the first AGM since 2019 where we've officially gathered in person. And it's great to see so many of you are here in the audience. Of course, since our last meeting in person, we've learned a lot about the benefits of online participation. So we're pleased to continue to offer a virtual option for those who are not able to join us here at our Meadowvale campus this morning. Before we dive in, I want to acknowledge my fellow directors, all of whom are here in person today. In addition to Curtis, we have Bill Azes, Ron Close, Tom Hayes, Kay Lemon, Andrew McDonald, Linda Mantia, Jonathan McCain, and Beth Newlands-Campbell. This may be one of the finest boards that I've served with. Their exceptional insights, their robust dialogue, strong commitment to effective governance, and a true understanding of what it takes to create shared value is second to none. I also want to take a moment to congratulate Curtis and the entire management team, most of whom are here today. The team delivered an excellent year in some of the most historically challenging conditions as we made important advancements in our vision to be the most sustainable protein company on Earth. As you know, at Maple Leaf Foods, we embrace the ethos of shared value creation. We reject the check-the-box ESG programs, just as we reject the notion of the primacy of shareholders at the expense of our other stakeholders. Instead, we focus our energy on finding solutions to deliver commercial success while also meeting social challenges. We do this head-on as we strive to deliver value for all of our stakeholders. It's a balance that is part of our DNA, deeply rooted in our culture and values that drives us forward and is woven into our purpose to raise the good in food. Our commitment to shared value creation begins with a financially healthy company. In 2023, we exited the ravaging effects of a post-pandemic economy. We completed a 5-year journey of intense capital investment, and we began seeing returns on these investments as the company shifts its attention to harvesting the benefits of the world-class network it has created. We also successfully accomplished our goal of pivoting our investment posture in plant-based protein from invest for rapid growth to profitable growth. Achieving EBITDA neutral as we exited 2023 is simply a milestone on that journey as we expect the category to contribute positively to our performance over time. Our financial goal in normal market conditions continues to be structurally achieving EBITDA margins between 14% and 16%. And while the dysfunction of the post-pandemic economy and the disruption it created in global markets has impaired this achievement in the short term, the momentum in our business is clear, and I am confident in your management team that they will reach the goal as markets normalize. In pursuit of leading the world in sustainability, we continue to be proud of our status as the first large-scale food company in the world to be carbon neutral beginning in 2019. We are a leading supplier of meat products from animals raised without antibiotics, protecting their essential role in human health. And we are a world leader in animal care. We are continuing to evolve our animal welfare standards as they lead the industry around the world. We are also working with civil society, governments, and industry to apply resources, skills, and voice to one of the most outrageous social ills, food insecurity. Over 20% of all Canadians, including 1 in 4 children, are food insecure, and this is fundamentally unacceptable. And we're taking action to find systemic solutions to this problem. So you can see that sustainability is a comprehensive commitment for Maple Leaf and all of its stakeholders. It goes without saying the impact of world events over the last several years has changed us forever. As a company, global disruption, distorted markets, and broken supply chains hampered our progress. But now that we are exiting the lingering effects of this post-pandemic economy, the momentum in our business is clear. I'm confident that not only will we achieve our financial goals as markets continue to normalize, but also that we will continue to passionately pursue our role as a world leader in sustainability. I know Curtis and the team are up for this challenge as we execute on our refreshed strategic blueprint, and you'll hear more on that when Curtis takes the microphone this morning. For now, let's turn to the formal business of the meeting. Our agenda today will consist of 3 parts. We will start with the formal business, which will cover receiving the 2023 annual financial statements, the election of directors, reappointing KPMG as the external auditors of Maple Leaf Foods, approving the advisory resolution on executive compensation, and approving the amendment to our stock option plan. All of these matters are described in detail in the notice of meeting and accompanying management information circular dated March 13th, 2024. Once we have concluded the formal business of the meeting, I will invite Curtis to the podium for a management presentation. And finally, following his remarks, we will conclude our time together with a question and answer session. A few process points for today's hybrid meeting. If you are attending in person and have a question about a specific item of business, you are welcome to ask it when that matter is being considered. If you have a general question or comment, we ask that you please hold it until the general question and answer session following the management presentation. In either case, please use one of the microphones stationed at the corners of the room here so that those joining online can hear your question. We also ask that you identify yourself by name and whether you are a shareholder or a proxy holder. If you are joining us online, you are welcome to submit your questions at any time during the meeting by selecting the messaging icon at the top of your screen, typing the message in the text box, and then clicking send. Questions submitted online that relate to the formal business of the meeting will be read aloud by Suzanne when that matter is being considered. General questions will be read aloud again during the general question and answer session. When we get to the general questions, depending on the volume of those questions, we may group online questions and comments that are of a similar nature. We'll do our best to respond to all questions, but in the event that we are not able to get to your question, we will follow up with you after the meeting. And now, with the consent of the meeting, I appoint Chris Sino and Arlene Arellano as scrutineers. Suzanne, can you please confirm that a quorum is present and the meeting is properly constituted?
Yes, thank you, Michael. I can confirm that the meeting is duly constituted and that a quorum is present. Both the confirmation of mailing and the materials and the scrutineer's report on attendance will be kept with the records of the meeting. Copies of the notice of the meeting and the management information circular are available on our Maple Leaf Foods website at www.mapleleaffoods.com and on SEDAR+ at www.sedarplus.ca. For those joining online, you can also access the materials during the meeting by clicking the Documents icon on the Lumi platform. All votes today will be conducted by ballot. If you're a registered shareholder or proxy holder attending in person, you will have received ballots when you arrived at the meeting and registered with Computershare. Most of you will have turned in your ballots at that time. If you're a proxy holder or shareholder and did not receive your ballots, or if you received ballots and have not turned them in, please raise your hand and the scrutineers will assist you. Shareholders and proxy holders attending virtually and who have logged on to the meeting using your control number are able to vote on each matter until voting is closed. You can vote online by clicking the polling icon at the top of your screen and completing the ballot. You may change your vote by selecting an alternative option on the ballot, or you may cancel your vote by selecting cancel. Please note that if you have already voted by proxy before the meeting, you do not need to vote again during the online voting unless you wish to change your vote. Voting online will revoke your previously submitted proxy. Once voting is closed, your online ballot will automatically be submitted and detailed voting instructions are available on how to vote on your platform. We will announce the results of the voting, including all votes cast at the meeting and proxies deposited prior to the meeting at the end of the formal part of the business. To expedite the meeting, we have asked certain shareholders and proxy holders who are also employees of Maple Leaf to move and second the various motions. And as a final note, I'd like to remind you that today's management presentation may contain forward-looking information. We encourage you to review the cautionary statements in our regulatory filings available on our website and on SEDAR+ for more information on the factors that could cause actual results or outcomes to differ.
Thank you, Suzanne. With that, we will now move to the first item of business and open the online poll for all matters. The first matter of business is the presentation of financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2023, together with the auditor's report on those statements. The financial statements and associated auditor's report are tabled before the meeting and have been mailed to those shareholders who requested them and are also available on our website and on SEDAR. No motion is required. Are there any questions? There being no questions, we'll move on to the next item of business, which is the election of directors. The number of directors to be elected has been set at 10. All nominees have confirmed their eligibility and willingness to serve as directors, and extraordinary directors they are. As outlined in the information circular, the nominees are as follows: William Azes, Ron Close, Curtis Frank, Tom Hayes, Catherine Lemon, Andrew MacDonald, Linda Mantia, Jonathan McCain, Michael McCain, and Beth Newlands-Campbell. May I have a motion, please?
My name is Cameron Chapman, and I nominate each of the 10 nominees listed in the form of proxy and management information circular for election as a director.
My name is Jennifer Hahn, and I second the motion.
Thank you, Cameron and Jennifer. Are there any further nominations or questions? As there are no further nominations, I declare the nominations closed. Shareholders are entitled to vote individually for each director. Each director requires a simple majority of votes cast to be elected. May I have a motion?
My name is Cameron Chapman, and I move the election of each individual director nominee to the Board of Directors of Maple Leaf Foods to hold office for a term to expire immediately following the next annual meeting of shareholders, or until their respective successors are elected or appointed, or they otherwise cease to hold office.
My name is Jennifer Hahn, and I second the motion.
Thank you again, Cameron and Jennifer. If a shareholder or proxy holder attending in person has a ballot on this matter that has not been turned in, please raise your hand so that the scrutineers may collect it. And as the online poll remains open, we will move on to the next item of business, which is the appointment of auditors and the authorization for the directors to fix the auditor's remuneration. The board has recommended the reappointment of KPMG LLP as auditors. This vote requires a simple majority. May I have a motion on this, please?
My name is Chris Bovaird, and I move that KPMG LLP be appointed auditors of the company to hold office until the next annual meeting of shareholders or until their successors are appointed, and that the directors of the company be authorized to fix their remuneration.
My name is Jennifer Hahn, and I second the motion.
Thank you, Chris and Jennifer. Is there any questions or discussion on this motion? Shareholders and proxy holders are invited to vote if you haven't already done so. If you are attending in person and have a ballot that has not been turned in, please again raise your hand so that the scrutineers may collect it. And as the online poll remains open, we will move on to the next item of business, which is the non-binding advisory vote on the company's approach to executive compensation. May I have a motion, please?
My name is Jennifer Hahn, and I move that on an advisory basis and not to diminish the role of the responsibilities of the Board of Directors, the shareholders accept the approach to executive compensation as described in the company's Management Information Circular dated March 13th, 2024.
My name is Chris Bovaird, and I second the motion.
Thank you again, Jennifer and Chris. Is there any discussion on this motion? As there is no discussion, shareholders and proxy holders may again vote on the motion if you haven't already done so. Once again, for those attending in person, if you have a ballot that has not been turned in, please raise your hand so that the scrutineers may collect it. And as the online poll remains open, we will move on to the final item of business, which is the motion to amend our options plan to increase the number of shares reserved for issuance. The board has recommended the approval of the increase in the number of shares reserved for issuance under the option plan by 3,250,000 to 11,750,000. This vote requires a simple majority. May I have a motion on this, please?
My name is Chris Bovaird, and I move that the amendment to increase the number of shares reserved for issuance under the option plan be approved.
My name is Jennifer Hahn, and I second the motion.
Thank you, Chris and Jennifer. Is there any discussion on this motion, please? There being no discussion, again and finally, shareholders and proxy holders are invited to vote if you haven't already done so. For those attending in person, if you have your ballot that has not been turned in, please again raise your hand so that the scrutineers may collect it. And if you are voting online, please enter your vote now. Thank you. As that is the last matter to be voted on at today's meeting, I now declare the online poll closed. With all voting now complete, our scrutineers will finish tabulating the votes, including those cast during the meeting today and by proxy in advance of the meeting. While we wait for the final tabulation, I would like to thank everyone for taking the time to join us today and for casting your votes. Your views are important to us, and we appreciate opportunities like this to receive your feedback. I understand that we now have the voting results available. I am pleased to announce that all director nominees have been re-elected, and I invite my fellow directors to please stand and be recognized. Please join me in congratulating your 2024-2025 Board of Directors. I look forward to working with all of you over the course of the next year. I'm also pleased to announce that the remaining three resolutions, the resolution appointing KPMG as the auditors, the Say on Pay advisory resolution, and the resolution approving the amendment to the option plan have all also been passed. Full details of the voting results will be published following the meeting and will be filed on SEDAR. That brings us to the conclusion of our formal business, and since there is no other business, I declare the formal part of the meeting terminated. And I invite Curtis now to the podium to share a few remarks and to answer any questions that shareholders may have. Curtis?
Thank you, Michael, and good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to see so many of you joining us today, both in person here in the forum and also online. It's certainly been a busy 12 months since our last AGM and a year of many firsts for me after assuming the role of CEO of Maple Leaf Foods last May. First and foremost, I want to begin by extending my gratitude to our Executive Chair, Michael McCain, for his unwavering support over the course of my transition. I also want to acknowledge my fellow directors for their support and guidance, and our senior leadership team, along with all of our team members at Maple Leaf Foods, for their continued dedication. My journey with Maple Leaf spans virtually my entire professional career, closing in on 24 years. And anyone who knows me knows that I am deeply passionate about what we do. We have created a culture that is unique to us, a culture that thrives on high performance, and a culture that is grounded in living our Maple Leaf leadership values. It was 5 years ago that we rolled out an ambitious blueprint for Maple Leaf Foods with a bold purpose, to raise the good in food, and an even bolder vision to become the most sustainable protein company on earth. Our purpose and blueprint have not only set us apart in the marketplace, but have also served as our North Star. It has guided us through the uncertainties of recent years and charted the course to creating shared value for all of our Maple Leaf stakeholders. I'll dive a little deeper into our evolved strategic blueprint shortly, but first I'd like to share some reflections to close out 2023. As I look back on 2023, I'm left with somewhat mixed emotions. On one hand, I'm immensely proud of the progress that we have made in stabilizing our business in this post-pandemic economy, in realizing the benefits of our recent capital investments, and in positioning ourselves to capitalize on the platform we have built for future success. On the other hand, I'm keenly aware that we have much yet to accomplish as we look to realize and achieve our full business potential. As a result, we can safely describe 2023 as a year of progress, but certainly not perfection. Let's begin with the progress. In the face of such difficult market conditions, we made remarkable strides in advancing the execution of our blueprint while demonstrating exceptional resilience. And most importantly, we exited the year with momentum building in our business, positioning ourselves for success in 2024 and well beyond. Allow me to highlight but some of our team's noteworthy achievements from the past year. Throughout 2023, we achieved top-line sales growth of 2.7% and an adjusted EBITDA of $428 million, marking a substantial $155 million or 55% improvement from 2022. In our meat protein business, we achieved sales growth of 3.6% by executing our core strategies in brand renovation, sustainable meats, and expanding our presence in the United States market. We successfully met our goal of achieving adjusted EBITDA neutral or better in our plant protein business, accomplishing this very important milestone in the fourth quarter of 2023. We completed the startup of over $1 billion in major capital projects at London Poultry and the Bacon Centre of Excellence, legacy assets that are poised to make a significant contribution to our business for decades to come. Despite navigating through the extraordinary levels of disruption and inflation following the aftermath of a global pandemic and global conflicts, we successfully restored the health of our supply chain while aligning our pricing to these new market realities. We demonstrated resilience in our pork complex, outperforming our competitive peers on a relative basis, even amid dislocated pork markets that persisted deeper and longer than we could have anticipated. And finally, we exhibited disciplined capital management, and initiated our path towards deleveraging our balance sheet. In this face of a year of what could only be described as intense disruption and transition, our steadfast commitment to creating shared value for all of our stakeholders has remained unwavering. This serves as a source of immense pride for all of us at Maple Leaf. Celebrating 4 years as a carbon-neutral company stands as a testament to our dedication to environmental stewardship. Completing the launch of industry-leading innovations, such as Maple Leaf Natural Selections, made with our simplest ingredients ever, reflects our ongoing pursuit in product development excellence. Our commitment to sustainable packaging saw us convert to 100% recyclable trays at our London poultry facility, thereby eliminating 1,000 tons of waste from landfills. Our passion for reaching our goal of reducing food insecurity in Canada by 50% before 2030 demonstrates our deep-rooted commitment to addressing societal challenges in the communities in which we operate. Maintaining our status as global leaders in food safety and people safety underscores our unwavering commitment to the well-being of our employees and consumers alike. And finally, scaling up our regenerative agriculture initiatives, along with the completion of the next phase of work related to anaerobic digestion, signifies our proactive approach to leading in sustainability. These initiatives collectively shape a more sustainable future for all Maple Leaf stakeholders, positioning Maple Leaf Foods as a leader within our industry. And while these achievements, accompanied by our strengthening financial performance, surely indicate momentum building in our business, I'm very much mindful not to declare victory today. Progress indeed, but certainly not perfection. It's in our very nature to continue to strive for more, and it's evident to all of us here at Maple Leaf that there's still much important work ahead en route to realizing our full potential. This brings me to the refresh of our strategic blueprint, which was rolled out earlier this year, an essential foundation for delivering on the next phase of profitable growth at Maple Leaf Foods. To be clear, our vision and our purpose are enduring. They will not change. However, given the rapid pace of change all around us, it's imperative that our core strategies evolve as we look towards the future. And I'm personally incredibly excited by the 5 core strategies that we have outlined in our blueprint, and that will propel us forward into the future. We will lead the way by making better food, taking better care of our people, our communities, and the animals under our care, and by nurturing a better planet. This sits at the very heart of our focus on shared value creation. We will build loved brands by investing in our portfolio of leading brands to build consumer demand and loyalty, by accelerating the pace of bringing impactful innovation to the market, and by plugging our unique capabilities into our customer strategies. We will seek to broaden our impact by extending our geographic reach with a focus into the U.S. market, developing new channels and categories such as e-commerce, and continuing to diversify our protein portfolio. We will operate with excellence by harnessing advanced technologies and automations, applying data science and analytics, and escalating our focus on driving cost out of our business. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, we will continue to develop extraordinary talent, nurturing our values-based culture, investing in our highest potential leaders, and inspiring our people to climb new mountains. As we roll out this evolved blueprint, it's important to be clear that things will be different. We are pivoting from building a world-class supply chain to harvesting the benefits of our investment. Here we are accountable to deliver on the returns we committed, and we will in fact deliver on those commitments. We are shifting from the internal focus associated with navigating the pandemic and the post-pandemic economy to becoming a branded consumer packaged goods powerhouse. We are moving from a Canadian center of gravity to accelerating growth not only domestically, but with an increasing focus on accelerating growth in the United States. We're evolving from a capital-intensive internal project phase to driving cost efficiency, leveraging technology, and taking advantage of automation. We are prioritizing a strong balance sheet to create flexibility for disciplined growth. And we are sharpening our competitive edge to stay ahead in an ever-evolving marketplace. Appropriately, we will hold ourselves to a high standard of achievement, and we have established a balanced scorecard to measure progress on this very exciting journey ahead. As we look forward, we expect to deliver low to mid-single-digit revenue growth rates by executing our core strategies, to drive adjusted EBITDA margin expansion toward achieving our target margin of 14% to 16% in normal markets, to achieve top quartile scores in our annual employee engagement survey, including our frontline team members, while also advancing our key metrics in diversity, equity, and inclusion. To work through the Maple Leaf Centre for Food Security to see to it that food insecurity in Canada is reduced by 50% by 2030. To deliver on our safety promise as global leaders in food safety, quality, people safety, and animal care. To be carbon neutral while continuing on our path to achieving science-based targets and reaching 100% sustainable packaging. And finally, we expect to deliver total shareholder returns that are rewarding to our investors. To get to where we want to go, we are implementing a new organizational design to drive focus, accountability, and results as we turn to executing this refreshed strategic blueprint. First, we are bringing our prepared meats, poultry, and plant protein businesses together under a single prepared foods umbrella, reporting to our recently appointed Chief Operating Officer, Adam Grogan. Adam has been with Maple Leaf for more than 25 years, and he is an outstanding leader. He is absolutely the right person to lead our core day-to-day business through both commercial and operations. Secondly, Casey Richards is the new president of our U.S. business and will be responsible for driving growth in the U.S. market. Casey's been with Maple Leaf for 6 years, and he brings a tremendous depth of North American food industry experience, having worked for some of North America's largest food companies. And our new CFO, David Smales, is yet another key addition to our leadership team. He joined us in January, and beyond his strong financial acumen, he brings tremendous long-term strategic planning skills and a deep understanding of Canadian capital markets. He has the right background and the right experience to help us to deliver results in this next important phase. As you know, we released our Q1 results this morning, delivering a solid quarter in line with our expectations and a 55% improvement in adjusted EBITDA year over year. Our net earnings were up, free cash flow improved, our capital construction costs came down nearly 70% as we wrap up our capital projects. Another sign of sure progress. Before I close today, I want to take the opportunity to acknowledge the extraordinary talented team that I am so fortunate to work alongside at Maple Leaf Foods. The people who are attracted to join us and build their careers here are inspired by our purpose and our vision. They ignite our passion for what we do, and they drive us to reach for both goals. There really is no place like Maple Leaf, and our people are the very reason that I'm filled with nothing but confidence as I look to the road ahead. I've truly never been more optimistic about the future for Maple Leaf Foods. The opportunities ahead of us are tremendous. We are clear on what needs to be done. There is positive momentum building in our business, and I am confident that we are on the path to delivering. The time has come for us to unlock the full potential of the Maple Leaf organization. Thank you. Before we wrap things up, I'll turn it over to Suzanne for questions.
Sure. So if anyone has any questions in the room, please just make your way to the microphones on the side of the room. And we're also monitoring online. If you have questions online, please feel free to submit them now. So I have one question in, Curtis. You mentioned consumer packaged goods powerhouse. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, thank you, Suzanne. One of the changes that we made was really important in our business, and I'd encourage you to turn to the materials we published online this morning. We'll give you a great view if you're listening in online. Was to consolidate into two business units that are deeply important in our business. The first is our prepared foods business, which houses our prepared meats, our poultry, and our plant protein businesses. And inside of that, you will find a number of leading brands in Maple Leaf Prime Poultry, our Minna Halal brand, and our wonderful plant protein brands in Late Life Field Roast and others. We have an incredible opportunity to pivot to leading in growth from a brand point of view on the strength of brands that date back nearly 100 years. One of the consequences over the last couple of years, understandably, given the dislocation in market conditions, is we've been focused on talking about our commodity businesses, perhaps more than we would have liked to within the organization. And the materials that we provided today highlight that our prepared foods business is 50% of our portfolio. And we're very fortunate to house wonderful brands, and we plan to put them to work naturally in the chapter ahead. So a very exciting time for us.
Excellent. I have one more question from online. Can you share a bit more color on your new org design and what that means for your focus on the U.S.?
Certainly, thank you. Our new organizational design was put in place something like 8 weeks ago, and it is aligned to the two operating units that I talked about. Our pork complex, which is a globally admired asset that we're incredibly proud of and has had exceptional performance in the conditions that we endured over the last couple of years, and our prepared foods business. We see an immense opportunity to grow into the United States market. It's been one of our strategic priorities, and putting a team in place in the U.S. where we're consolidating our meat protein business and our plant protein business gives us a really amazing platform for growth. We're able to consolidate in an office and an innovation center that we have headquartered in Chicago, and combine the efforts of our selling, marketing, and commercial organization along with the distribution and manufacturing assets that we have on the ground in the U.S. So it's something we're very excited about. Having a dedicated focus and a president of our U.S. business is a logical progression for us as an organization, and I think it will provide for a level of intensity and focus that will help us to unlock further growth in the United States.
Are there any other questions from the room? Those are all the questions that have been submitted. So on behalf of Maple Leaf Food, our board of directors, our management team, and all of our team members here, I'd like to thank you for joining us here today. And this concludes our meeting.